Welcome to Newsday.
Hey, everybody.
Hope everybody's doing well. We've got me and Brenda here today going over Pop-Bys. So, what's a Pop-By? Tell me, what do you think?
I actually think a Pop-By is just a reminder for your clients to not forget about you, especially in this kind of market where they are driving by places and seeing signs. And I think it's a way to keep ensuring a relationship with your clients.
It also lets you know that you care about them, and it's a potential way for new business, because if they're thinking about you, then they'll tell their friends also.
That's right.
Yeah. Know that Pop-Bys should be something that's something that can be used, something potentially consumable, whether it's to eat or something to wear or to put on your skin, something that can be used. Who do you do Pop-Bys with? Would be a question. So, how do you determine who's your most important clients?
Well, I have a sphere of 30-year-olds that are all getting married and having babies. So they're my priority, to be honest with you, because they are the ones who are having Friendsgiving every year. They're the ones who are having showers. And I'll be honest with you, I got invited to a shower last year that I was the oldest person there. I thought at least their parents would be there. I was so uncomfortable, but I left my gift and left. And it turned out I knew like 6 of them, so it worked out. And actually 6 of them were clients, so that worked out.
Sorry. Okay. So, how do you? I guess that the people would be your core people.
They're my core. And actually there's 5 of them that are pregnant right now that I definitely, my Pop-Bys are usually really inexpensive and on clearance items. When I see something, I'll pick it up and use it for the next year or the next year's holiday. But, using Baby Belly, for those clients that their families are growing, I highly suggest that because one, it's Crystal's business, so it helps her out. But more importantly, it shows that you're thinking about them when they're getting ready to have a baby, which is the most important milestone besides buying a house. Something to think about.
Absolutely. And you were saying that you purchased gift cards from Baby Belly. So if you tie in with somebody, sometimes it will help not only with the cost, but you're also could potentially get business from the vendor. So she might get business from people at Baby Belly. So it's good sometimes to connect with another person who has a business and see if you can maybe do it together.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
when you go, how do you figure out your routing? Do you set it up?
Yeah, so this is my client book and it's all done by alphabet. But every year at Christmas time, I actually make sure I do an ornament for each person. If it's their first year in the home, I do a brand new ornament. And then I also do one for that year specifically. If they have dogs, I like to do one for the dog because again, it ensures, that you're thinking of them as a family. I also do one for an engagement, and this year I used my last one, so I'll be ordering them again. These retail for like $14, like $12 to $14 at the mall, but we get them for $3. So, I think you're kind of crazy not to utilize this because it goes up on their tree every year. They're going to see it. Somebody says, oh yeah, we lived here that year, and you're always going to be a reminder. I also try to include their kids. So these are little elves, a boy elf. I usually put their name on them, and then the year. I iron those on. You get these for the Dollar Tree. This year they didn't have any brown ones, so I had to spend a little bit of extra money on Michael's to get these because you don't want to, if you have somebody who's in a different, they're not Caucasian, you want to make sure you're looking at them. They're kids, they might not want this little Caucasian one, but I know I have some clients that are either African American, some that are Arabic, and I use these for their kids. So it makes sure that you're including them and you know that it's their children. Especially right now, if you go to Sam's, you can get an actual bag of Easter eggs or filled with candy. I highly suggest doing that to your clients. And then these little things here that I put on cardstock and wrap them up on it, and it just says, Happy Easter to an extra special client. So
Extra.
extra yeah,
special
so when
client.
you're doing that for their kids, again, you're making sure that they know you, and then their kids are going to say, who's that from? And then again, your name is coming up. So right now my daughter's 19, her friends in about 5 years will probably be buying houses, so I need to make sure that everybody knows that.
Great, that's really good. So when you go to deliver them, one, how do you plan out your route, and then how do you call them before you
No,
go?
I
or
don't,
just-
especially during the holidays. I actually divide everything up by zip code, and it just saves me some time. So what I do is I box everything up by zip code. So if I'm going over in the Hamburg area, I know it's 40509 and I can drop everything off. And I try to do it like when I'm going into, say, specifically Charlesburg, they're all together, and like Andover or whatever, they're all together.
So you kind of route them.
I
and
do,
make sure
because
you know.
otherwise it's really difficult if you go to one side of town, the other, you want to make sure, especially now that gas prices are extremely high, that you can do that. If you're going to show a house, say for me, I sell some in Richmond, but not like you all do, then I will go ahead and bundle those all up together.
Do you happen to go by and do drive-bys with people maybe that you haven't spoken with in a long time? Is that?
I do, like clients that are, 6 years ago, but I don't go up and talk to them. I just feel like if I leave it there at the front door, it's more of a surprise. I feel like I don't like it when people show up at my door unexpected. One, I have a new wild dog, and two, I might be in my PJs or something like that, because I know as a realtor, once you sit down at your desk, you're there for an hour or two, and so it might be that you don't have your pajamas on until 10 or, change or whatever. So that's something to think about as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you were gonna let them know, you could potentially send them an email or a text or a call them and say, I'm gonna be in your neighborhood next week on Thursday. I've got a gift for you. Is there a time that would be good? I could drop it off. So yeah, I think that one of the big things that sometimes people get nervous about that I've heard is they don't want to go and spend all this time with the person. So I know that trying to not go inside without being rude, unless of course the client draws you inside and does that. But they, about 45 minutes is kind of how they plan the drive and everything and your time there. So if you got to schedule about 45 minutes per client, you're probably going to do better with the drive time and everything else. But there's a
I
thing.
can send a text as well.
A text.
If I drop something off in your door, especially if it's like the baby belly massage or something like that. Hey, I left something in your door.
Or candy.
Yes.
You don't want to know.
And honestly, they talk about it. Like they'll go to work and they'll be like, oh my gosh, or if somebody has a ring on, I will ring the doorbell, or either way, the motion goes off. I usually stand there for a minute, wave, blow a kiss or whatever, depending on who it is.
Sing a song.
Yeah, I sing songs. I do sing songs. I sing songs. I sing happy birthday. Whatever I can do, because I want them to bond with me. I just had this relocation couple, and at first they were really kind of hard to get to know, but in the end they loved me, and it turned out to be a great experience. So
that's really.
So there was a question on the chat. Somebody asked, how do you package the items so they don't get taken by dogs or blown away?
Yeah, so if you use a little bag like this, you usually can put it on the door, so it won't blow off, or put it in the storm door. Most houses anymore, it seems like, have a storm door. My pre-packages for Christmas, because I try to make a beautiful bow and everything, to make it look as pretty as can be. And usually the bow, I can usually put the bow on the door handle as well.
So if you do go and you let them know that you're coming, it's said that you should follow what's called forward, kind of how to keep the conversation off of real estate, because you don't obviously want to come to them and immediately say, hey, don't forget I'm in real estate. That just can kind of be awkward. So they say go by 4. So F is family. So you ask them about the family. How are they doing? Or if you stalk them on Facebook before you go, or on social media, you can see how big the kids have gotten. Maybe they have a new addition. So the O would be occupation. And you could ask them, you know, are you still working at, you know, wherever? R would be recreation, you know, you still coaching softball, or and then D would be your dreams. You know, did you get that boat that you were talking about, you know, last year? Or so those are all kind of topics, and 4 is an easy way to remember what it is to talk about. And then when you're leaving, if you do, like I said, if you do make it where you go in to talk to them, then you might leave with saying, you know, if you have any friends or family that's going to sell or buy, make sure that you holler at me. Just, you know, don't make it all about the business, which is one thing about not calling or just dropping it off. You know, you don't have to worry about that. It's truly just, you know, from me to you.
Take advantage of the weather. When I say that, you know, for me, when the temperatures turn cold, the first thing I do is send a text message to every one of my clients. I literally sit with my book and I go through every client. By doing that, it again engages a relationship, and it ensures that you have their back. So, which is really important.
See, what do you do? Tell them that.
I just say, basically, the temperatures are freezing. Jenny used to get those messages from me before she became a realtor, so did Meg. But basically, it just says the temperatures are going below freezing. Please remove this, you know, the hose from the spigot. Call me if you have any questions. So
That's great, especially for in-home buyers.
yes, because nobody thinks about it, you know, nobody ever thinks about it. And I usually tell my clients too, just like the other day at my closing, I said, just because we're done does not mean that the relationship stops. Call me if you ever need a referral from somebody to work on your home, or contractor's name or number. And it, again, you know, there was a client that Jenny and I worked with 2 years ago, and he texted me last night asking me for a recommendation. So, yeah.
Staying in front of mind.
Yes, it really is.
So how often do you do your Pop-Bys?
Well, Easter's coming up next week. I guess next week I'll be doing that. But my biggest thing is Derby. I bought these. And so I'm going to give these to the clients that are fun and young, you know, because they're about Derby. Some of the older clients don't really participate in Derby festivities, but Easter, the ones with candy, that's really easy when you got that basket from Sam's that is just eggs and they're filled. So yeah, you don't have to do anything. It saves you some money. So
how do you do it? You're talking about money. Do you determine, I mean, all of this centers around kind of planning your Pop-Bys. Do you have a budget that you set per client?
I'd like to say no, because unfortunately that's one thing my husband yells at me.
No budget.
No budget. But you know, again, you know, having 5 clients that are pregnant right now, I mean, that was, you know, that was a really big thing.
Right.
Is to ensure that you have a relationship. Because what happens is they'll be like, oh, I just went and got a massage. Really? Oh my gosh, did your husband do that for you? No, my realtor did. Really?
Kind of realtor did
My realtor never did that.
I think if you determine what your core group is going to be, how many people you have, it would make a big difference with your budget. And if it's overwhelming, you feel like you have too many clients, just pick 10. Or you can do, you know, 10 for January and February, and then 10 other ones for the other 2, you know, and you don't have to do it every month. It can become costly and time consuming if you don't have like a lovely assistant to go deliver your Pop-Bys for you and you do it by yourself. So yeah, I think,
I mean, always do the after holiday shopping, because you'll save a lot of money. For example, you know, this was $1 for all these bags. So, and these I think were $0.25. So, you know, as people have their little festivities for, you know, Halloween, they'll think about that. So
Right, so Easter's coming up. If you aren't doing Pop-Bys for Easter, or even if you are, go after Easter and get all the egg coloring kits that are on clearance. Halloween is the pumpkin carving kits. You can buy those for 75 cents.
Dollar Tree should be your best friend as a realtor, because one thing, and I meant to bring it, at Christmas time, you can only buy them at Christmas, and unfortunately I didn't buy that many of them this year. But it's a little tray about this big. And what I do is I put their name on it, and you can like put water bottles on it, just something kind of cute and personal for their house. So
Yeah.
I should have bought it, but I didn't think about it.
Now, there was another question. I think it's a little bit more about farming, but it says, what tool do you use to gather neighborhood addresses for mailings if you're sending cards out?
PVA, I just did this. So right now with this market being crazy, I did 4 different letters, and I sent that to, I asked Jenny and Meg if they wanted a copy of them. So basically what I did is I went down a street, a specific street, and I took a picture of the street. I put it on the letter, and I just said, I'm looking for homes in this area, that I have a client that's looking for a house. And then I just said it. As a matter of fact, it was 60 of them that I just sent.
Wow.
But you get it from PBA, you just print it out, and you just say, you have to ask Christy about this, but you need to say, I may have a potential client. Don't say you have a client, because what's happening is you're guaranteeing a sale that you don't know if it can happen. So my actual letters say, I may have a client. I may have a buyer for your home. And that way it just kind of opens the door if they contact you. But, I showed a house the other day and it had 31 offers. I can't compete with my first time home buyer, can't compete with 31 offers, keep that in mind. It's very difficult. So you really need to be farming right now, which I hate that because over the last few years, all my clients have been referrals only, but right now it's not about, it's my buyers trying to find a house. So.
Right. I wonder if you could do something with for sale by owners. Pop-Bys.
You probably could, but again, and try to make yourself worthy. And when I say this, there is nothing that disgusts me more than looking at a $600,000 listing or a $400,000 listing, and it's just pictures off their phone and very dark. What did you do differently than he could do on his own to sell the house? Really, you need to be of value, and if you're not of value, you're wasting your time and you're wasting your seller's time.
Very true. So I have a Pop-By calendar, and I'll have copies back there, but we can try to fill it out. So let me go grab those. Right back.
What would you like to talk about? What's your favorite Pop-By? Oh yeah, so this is another thing, and it's also helping local people here. Is this last October, myself and Jenny and Meg, we went to a local person and bought pumpkins, and just to even bring people like a pumpkin with, again, a carving set. That's up to you about the carving set. I don't do those just because of liability, because I don't want a kid to get cut and then think that I contributed to it. But I definitely think that a pumpkin in the fall is a really good idea. And if you shop local, I know that one thing that happened out of it is we actually kind of established, some rapport with the person who was selling those. And it turned out we were not the only realtors buying pumpkins from them.
You were the only one?
No, we weren't. There was someone else. Yeah, they were buying hundreds of them from them.
Also, those one of the plants that they mums. I've seen a lot of agents take mums.
Yes. Yeah, Jenny Hugel is really good about, because her daughter does fundraisers for the moms, and she actually buys those mums. So she's actually helping her daughter and doing it for her clients as well, which is very important, especially spring. You can buy, bulbs in November if you wanted to. because they're gonna plant them. That's also another thing. So when they see them in the spring, there's lots of things you can do. The internet is your friend on comments or basically sayings. Like right now, I have to figure out a saying for these derby things, but it'll work.
There's a website, www.Pop-Bys or Pop-By Ideas. I'll put it on our closed Facebook page, but it's Peggy Euro. She's an agent in California. She has, if you go onto her website, she has so many ideas. You can type in January and there will be a slew of ideas with taglines. I wish I could show it to you guys, but it is amazing, absolutely. And you'd never be without an idea if you go to that page, absolutely. The best part about this calendar is that you're planning ahead, and I think that's if you work that way, I guess I would say, if that's your thing, if you like to plan ahead, this is a great way and to kind of budget and figure out when you need to do something and what it is. You can get everything ready ahead of time. So what are your January ones? What was it? Did you say you gave out January ones?
I didn't do January because I did everybody for December.
Right. So January, what are some things you think y'all could do for January?
Salt, you can do salt, or you can do, windshield scrapers are very inexpensive. They're $1 at the Dollar Tree. You can do those.
There was one idea, lock de-icer, and the tagline was, "Don't get locked out of the real estate market. Let me help you find a new home."
Yeah.
I thought that was cute. Or soap bottles, fortune cookie for the new year.
Oh, that's a good one.
The soap bottle was, "If I can give you a hand, please call me." And then for February, do you do anything for Valentine's?
I do the little heart steak from Valentine's or from the Dollar Tree, the little heart. It's $1.
Has
You
a
can just
candy
drop,
in it?
just drop them off. Yes,
It's cute.
it's just $1. But again, it keeps people remembering you.
Absolutely. They had, you could do a chili kit, a penalty flag. That was one of the ideas on Peggy's side. Yes, a penalty flag saying, you know who to call for all your real estate needs. That was kind of cute. For March, for St. Patrick's Day, scratch offs are a huge hit. I think soda bread was another one. And just for March in general, 9-volt batteries.
Which is very good because then it's a safety thing about your smoke detectors, because you want to do them when that
Time
changes. Yes, it's a great reminder.
Yeah. Things that they can use or that's going to be of some kind of benefit.
Utilize some of your resources too on that. So I know that the local fire departments will change out smoke detectors for free. So you can give your clients that number and just say, I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but the fire department is changing out the smoke detectors. Again, it's just another form of communication, text message to your client. You don't realize that they're utilizing it, but they'll thank you for it. It might not be personally, but I usually during the winter months, after my Christmas drop-offs, I usually always get tons of emails from my clients, or I even have them drop off things at my house. I don't like that so much because I really don't want them to know what I live.
Hey, so Missy,
Night visits.
I mean, that's just me personally. I don't like it, but this one always drops off chocolate to my door, and I always think, oh, that's sweet. But yeah, that and another one drops off chocolate covered Oreos with peppermint on them from Trader Joe's, which are awesome. But again, I sit down and eat 8 of them. Yeah, and there's only 10 in the box. So what does this say?
hey Brenda, Missy Doherty showed up a little bit late and she asked, do you notify them before stopping by or do you just come by unannounced?
I don't ever, no, I don't. And I know you really should. And my thing is usually like the other day when I was dropping off the gift card for the pregnant client, I was coming from the gym. So I don't, if you know me, I don't like to be not ready. I like to be ready. And when I say ready, I like to have my clothes, I like to be dressed, presentable. So for me, I probably don't. But I usually always send a text message to my client saying, I left something at your front door, so they know it. And if they are not home and they're at work, they're anticipating getting home and finding out what it is, which is also another cool thing, because if they're at work, they're talking about it to their other, their other coworkers.
Just make sure that you pay attention to who it is you're delivering it to, because if it's spring break, they might be on vacation and you might put something.
That's right.
Real monetary value or something that might be taken or ruined if they're not there. So, and that's kind of a personal preference, whether or not you make yourself available to be there when, or to drop it off while they're there or not. So,
and for Christmas, I do everything is wrapped and ready before Thanksgiving. And the reason I do that is as soon as Thanksgiving's over, the first week of December, I have everything delivered. And the reason for that is because I want them to see me. I want them to talk about me around the holidays, because that's usually when people are thinking about or talking to their spouse or whoever about moving. We don't have enough room. We don't have enough storage for our Christmas stuff. We need to downsize. We got too much junk everywhere. So you want to me, those are the times when people are at Christmas, when they're putting down their tree because it's the new year. Those are the times that people really are talking about you.
Let's get some ideas for April. Let's see, April we have Easter and Earth Day. Of course, everybody knows Easter with, have your peeps call my peeps with the peeps candy and the Easter eggs. But Earth Day is also that month. So if you wanted to kind of go off from Easter, you could do Earth Day. They have the Method surface cleaner. It's environmentally friendly, all that the Method stuff. It's at Target. So you could give them that. There's just so many different things. The recycled, reusable totes that you get at the grocery store. There's 99 cents. You can get a bunch of those ones. I think Marshalls and stuff has really cute ones. They're spring looking and different stuff. So those are, you can kind of put a couple things in there, but those are good things that you can do.
I also think of some seeds at this point in April, because you're going to be planting them in May. You can get, again, at the Dollar Tree, you can get packets of seeds, something to think about. And you can put it in any kind of packaging. You can put it in a bag or, with, just anything. They'll appreciate it. Or just staple your card even to it, tie your card. I use that string for everything, so.
Yeah, you do a forget-me-not.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You could put their tagline could be, thank you for helping me grow my business.
And I'm going to tell you something that I find to be the most important thing is, and this sounds morbid, but death. So when you are talking to your clients or if somebody passes away, be there for your client. When I say be there, don't go knocking on their door. Don't do anything like that, but take them something. Always send a card. A card is, 50 cents at the Dollar Tree. Send a card because they will remember you. And most of the time, especially if you have elderly clients, if somebody's having surgery, take them a meal. It might cost you $20, but gosh, if they're going to remember you. It's not that $20 is going to come back to you tenfold, I feel like. So just remember, as your clients are aging, things like that, they're downsizing, they'll remember you.
Yeah, having different ideas for what you're going to use as a Pop-By is probably good as well for the different generations of,
Yes.
of your clients.
Like my older clients would not care about a tea towel, my 30-year-old clients, yeah, they'll like it, when they have their parties, but this year they're all pregnant. So
they all get baby.
They all are pregnant. 5 girls with 5 baby girls.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So that's fun shopping for
Yeah.
Pop-Bys though.
Yeah, they're all best friends, so yeah.
How about May, we've got Mother's Day, and for the people that aren't near you, you can always mail them things. So like the seeds is an easy thing to do, maybe go to the Dollar Tree, buy a whole bunch of different kind of cards. You know, maybe spend $10, $15, get yourself a stack for who knows when things are gonna happen. And then you can put, I mean, even like for Mother's Day, you can put a little hydrating face mask, those ones you can get for like 80 cents or $1 or whatever, you know, those are fun things that are good ideas for people who live further away.
Sunscreen.
Yes.
For June.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sunscreen for June, but that's Father's Day, right? So you do grilling, things for the grill.
One thing that,
$6 candles.
yeah, one thing that Brian Buffini does for the grilling season for Father's Day is he gets those packets from Sam's. That has your ketchup, yeah, relish, mustard. It's like $10 for the pack or whatever. And he actually does that big for Father's Day or June because of the grilling season.
Yeah, I relish your business.
Business, yeah.
He's the one who actually brought Pop-Bys to be so popular for real estate from the Phoenix.
Yeah. Be careful too what you send, like if you're trying to farm somebody, and Kim remembers this because I remember like it was yesterday. So one of the things that I'll think of his name, he tells you send a gift card for Starbucks that says, hey, let's sit down and, you know, over a cup of coffee and talk about the housing market. Used to do that for expired listings, remember?
Mhm.
And I did that, and somebody sent me back their $5 gift card. I know.
But you
Yeah,
got coffee.
yeah,
Can't make everybody
yeah.
happy all the
So
time.
just remember that when you do go over, you know, trying to get expired listings, which are non-existent today in today's market, but back in the day, they used to be something that you would try to get farming wise. So don't do that. I will tell you that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't waste your money on that kind of stuff. Okay.
A couple more for Father's Day, only because sometimes I know it's difficult to find things for guys, kind of to base it on that. They said like car wash coupons, those are a great thing. And the sticks that you use for roasting marshmallows, those metal sticks, or even the in your that you can put in the fire, in your fire that changes the colors in your bonfire. You know, just anything that has to do around the outside.
July is sparklers.
Yeah. Yeah, July would be sparklers for sure. One thing that I saw was scrub daddies for July. And what did they say? They're always here to help your referrals have a clean real estate transaction. Those scrub daddies, things. Yes, those. Or again, those roasting sticks that says I'm never too busy, schmore, referrals, schmore.
And you can do things like that. That is not very expensive. You can just put it in a Ziploc bag and do those up, several of them, and just drop them off to your clients. They'll appreciate it.
Yeah. So let's go August. What could you do in August? That's kind of back to school.
Pencils. But again, you're going to be focusing on the people with kids.
What about a hide a key? Hide a key was a good one that I had researched and found. You know, the little boxes that you can put outside somewhere in your house. Every grill that I've ever thrown away, it has one of those with a key in it. Yeah.
Now we know where you keep
I
it.
don't know, not anymore. But so September, I was trying to think of something for September, and I couldn't think of anything. What would you do?
Football season. Mm-hmm.
Football?
Yes.
That would be a good time for another penalty flag if you hadn't done those yet. I think that one of the things to remember also is always just, like you said, go on clearance, plan for the year ahead, for the next year, whenever you can. What would you all do in September?
I sent everybody a happy birthday to me card.
Right? There you go. Happy birthday.
Maybe you could do fall bulbs or the bulbs that you plant then.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's baker's boxes or bakery boxes on Amazon that you can buy. They're not too expensive. Those are also good to put things in?
I buy them from Uline.
Do you, is that where you get it from?
Yes, Uline is your best resource for boxes. Yes, you can buy bigger boxes. I usually buy a box that's, I think it's like 3 by 9 or whatever to put these in, and I just address them to the kids. So, yeah.
I like that. October, I found this idea and I really liked it. Little caramel apple kits.
Oh, yeah.
So you give them like a whole bunch of the small square caramels and then popsicle sticks. You don't give them the apples, but and then sprinkles and then directions on what to do with them.
Mhm.
And then you can just put that in a little box. I thought that was-
I thought about those fall garden flags,
Yeah,
because you can get those like $4 at Aldi's or something.
absolutely. And if you get them in bulk, even it's, I mean, I'm sure that there's places you can buy those in a quantity.
Yeah, and if you don't, I mean, honestly, if you know somebody who has a Cricut, I mean, I use mine all the time for these things.
Is that how you made that?
No, I bought these off Etsy. But like the putting the name, you know, vinyl letters on things, that's always a great thing to do, or the address, or if you know me, you know, I etch glasses a lot for people.
She does a great job.
Yeah. For that, but something I do like to do for my clients, if I know they're drinkers, is I love to etch a glass, 2 champagne glasses with their initial of the last name and put it in the refrigerator after we've left or whatever, along with a bottle of champagne. So what happens is after we've closed and everything else and they're moving, they open up their door and they're like, oh my gosh. That's always a great thing to do because you're done with your closing gift already. So it just kind of reiterates how awesome you are.
Right.
How do you get in and do that without them home?
Usually you go, oh, I want to make sure that I turn off the lights after they've left, you know, because you usually do the walkthrough, you know, and if you can do it, or you get there before them.
I got a pot pie down at that bluegrass bakery,
Mhm.
and you bake it at home, so I put it in the fridge for them, so that they would have.
Yeah, I've done that
they could have
too.
dinner.
If it's young boys or something like that, young boys, young men, I like to make like buffalo chicken dip and put it in there. And then also get a Papa Murphy's pizza so that they can make it when they're ready. Yeah. So
Those
you can
Papa
put
Murphy's are
those,
good.
yeah, and you can put those in there. That way they don't have to worry about anything. And if they're beer drinkers, I usually try to find out what kind of beer they like and put that in there, or sodas, just so when they're moving, you know, that's the biggest thing, right? They're tired. And they're, oh my God, Brenda left me some beers.
Whatever, whatever.
No, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I think November and December would be very simple
Mhm.
to figure out what to do with a Pop-By.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thanksgiving, it's all
Yeah.
about family, home, yeah.
More pumpkins.
Yeah.
and-
Yes.
Yeah, so that's pretty easy. If your clients take a picture of their stuff and put it on social media, share it. And if you do go there and they're there, do a selfie with them and blast it out on your social media, you know, really makes you look really good.
So last year, I think Tyann did pies. Did you have them here?
So that's a reverse.
Have people swing by and get them?
Great to
It's
do.
like she took an order, is that what she did? I don't know exactly what she did, I was just here on all these pies.
You would just get like a whole ton of different kinds of pies or whatever it is you want to do, pumpkin pies, and you can send a message to your clients and let them know, you know, to come by between these times to pick up their gift or their pie. But that is a reverse Pop-By. So that's kind of cool because it takes the time out from you where you don't have to worry about delivering them and they're home and they can kind of come on their own and you know that they get it. So if you do that, I would try to be at the office that
Yeah.
whole period of time. I wouldn't, you know, I don't.
I think she was. I think
Yeah.
she got there.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
And also too, take advantage of some of these little clienteles, like little businesses, because what's going to happen, you're going to establish a relationship with them and they're going to remember it too. So if you know somebody who bakes pies, do it with them. Say, hey, would you be, if I placed an order for so many pies, how would you feel about that? Because again, you know, they're like telling me, oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. I just had to make 20 pies for Brenda. You know, why did Brenda want 20 pies? That's a lot. Well, she gives them to her clients.
Right.
You know, because remember, this person might not give anything. I mean, I've had more clients tell me that they never got a closing gift even from their realtor. So remember, just make sure they remember you. And it might be something stupid, like, you know, this closing that we just had, we got them a ring because they have 2 little kids. I also put night lights in there for their boys, and then a baby belly gift card because she's pregnant, 4 months pregnant, and I know she was going to paint the whole house by herself, so she's going to be exhausted. So it was something for everybody. Oh, and he likes socks like my husband does, where they're like, they say things, or so where they just moved to Kentucky, I got him a pair of socks that said Kentucky. So there's something in that gift basket for everybody. And you know what, when they open it, they're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my gosh. You want them to do that because they're going to talk about it, you know, and it's just so important. The more you're talked about, as long as it's not ugly or bad, it's better you'll do. I mean, really, you don't want them to say she was awful, she didn't do anything for me. You want it to be that she busted her butt. And oh my gosh, at the closing, she made sure that each one of us got something. Now I regret that I put 2 Easter eggs of jelly beans because the one child was not, he was probably 13 months. He was too young to have those jelly beans and he threw a tantrum. So that's not really, I should have gotten peeps because they're marshmallow and they could have ate them with no problems. Yeah. So.
Hey Brenda, some of my next friends were over last night and I was carrying one of those mats to my car and I go, hey, just so you know, every closing that I do, they get a custom mat with their name on it. You know, you and you.
Yeah.
When you buy.
Yeah. And take care of your clients that do refer you. I know we're not supposed to do certain things, but you know what? I'll buy my clients dinner if they refer me. You know,
It's a birthday dinner.
it's a birthday dinner, anniversary dinner, or something like that. Always take care of those people because they will make sure they take care of you. I know that one client referred somebody to me and I don't even think they're 30, but I know he drinks IPAs. And when I was showing their friends' houses, because they were staying with them that weekend, I'm like, oh, do you drink IPAs too? Like such and such. And they're like, no, she drinks wine, I drink bourbon. So you know what? I busted my butt to put together a little basket and made sure there was, for the 4 of them, something to drink. She liked wine, he liked bourbon. The other guy liked IPAs and the other girl, she liked wine. So, and then I put like some Kentucky beer cheese in there with some pretzels. So the 4 of them at nighttime after they've been partying are going to eat and talk about me like all night long. That's what I want.
All night they're gonna talk about it.
I want them to talk about me. Yes, I do.
So these tags, you can find them on Etsy. You can make them very easily in Canva. It's 3.5 by 3 inches. I think is like the typical tag. But if you need help making them, I mean, this is stuff we're more than happy to help you out. And there's like a little bench thing.
Yeah. And if anybody needs these, I make Pop-Bys, so you can make them yourself and put them with something where they just say to the extra special client. So yeah, and then just put your name on it or put a business card.
I have found these. You would print them out on cardstock. Of course, they would be smaller. I blew them up so you could see that. But you can, when you cut them out, if you make it on cardstock, you can put your business card right here, and it's got the 2 little like lifts that it kind of sticks into. You can write whatever you want to on here. So we have this available for you guys, but Pinterest has a ton of ideas. It's like going down a rabbit hole. I could spend hours in there. I was thinking, I wish I had people to do Pop-Bys for because there's so many fun things to do. But we have lots of stuff. I'll put some websites on our closed Facebook page that have different information that would be helpful if you're going to do Pop-Bys.
Awesome. So I thought about another one for May, which was like a college or high school graduation.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Always take care of those people too that have college graduations or high school graduations, because again, you know,
They're gonna be fine.
yeah, they will be buying sometimes, especially the college graduations. You know, one of my clients just graduated 2 years ago. So, and keep in mind too, a lot of times, people who are graduated from high school, their parents now are buying investment properties instead of spending, like I know for me, it's $6,000 a semester for, room and board. You know, gosh, that's a nice house payment. And they're actually putting equity into their home. So keep that in mind. So I know for me, I do have one client that's looking for investment properties specifically for that. So.
Do you guys have any questions? Does anybody out there in Zoom land have any questions?
Yeah, Missy had another question. She asked if you're always adding them to your client for life or doing this in place of that.
No, it depends on the situation about client for life, to be really frank with you. I know that if it's somebody who is selling only, I don't add them to client for life because they're not going to be around here, right? So no reason for me to add them. Now, if it's somebody who is young, maybe 30, I know this is their first home and they'll move again, absolutely.
So you could do Pop-Bys with, along with Client for Life. This is a more personal touch in terms of actually going there. And then that would be where you would decide whether or not you want them to know you're coming or not. This would be a way that you could actually see them if you're doing Client for Life also with them. And you don't have to do them all the time. You could do just 2 a year for that client that you might have on Client for Life, because they're still getting that connection to you in one way or the other. But you can always do Pop-Bys years so that they can see you.
One thing I don't do enough of, and I'll be honest with you, is when somebody just sells with me and they're moving away, or maybe they have an investment property that they've sold or whatever they're not buying. I need to keep a list better myself for just those people and send them Christmas cards and birthday cards, because they still will refer you, even though, like my Winchester client, she sold an investment property. You know, she called me here, 2 months ago to look at a property. So you never know.
And I will say that with sellers, even if they do move somewhere, it's still okay to do the Client for Life with them, because they might have family that still stays here. You can still make money off of, your old neighbor, Billy Joe, who has moved to California, and he's going to sell his house and move to the other side of the city in California. You can still make money on that.
That's very true. I had that happen actually. So this couple they got my name off of Remax, and they sold their house that their daughter lived in while she was in college. And literally they gave my name to the neighbor across the street. And so I sold his house 3 months later. So you're right.
Yeah. And you can do outbound referrals. I mean, it doesn't have to be here.
Yep.
So just staying in contact, I think is the key here. How do you choose to stay in contact?
And just because you do stay in contact, there's no guarantee that they're still going to use you or refer to you. So just don't try not to get upset if they don't. Usually what happens is everybody has become a realtor now. Everybody knows somebody who's a realtor. I mean, like Jenny was my client, Meg was my client. Now they're both realtors in this office. So
you're so awesome.
Yeah.
One thing I will remind everybody, don't put anything in a mailbox. It's totally illegal to touch it. Don't do it. Leave it on their front porch or on their door if you have to, but don't put anything in anybody's mailbox.
And take care of your mailman. The reason why I say take care of your mailman is because you also want to establish a relationship with them and say, okay, yeah, I'm a realtor. If you know anybody thinking about moving, they usually know before you do or anybody else, because they're working on change of address forms, things like that. So it's also a great way to farm out once you hear that, the neighbor is moving. Like I know, for example, there's somebody in my neighborhood that's elderly that somebody else told me that, they'll probably be selling. So you never know. And I believe it's an office exclusive right now for the brokerage.
I forgot one more. Yeah,
Girl Scout cookies
absolutely.
Yes.
with your name on it.
Don't scout for a home on your own.
Like January, February,
Yeah.
when everybody's trying to diet.
Yeah.
Yes.
I bought 20 boxes for my grandson.
They have firework glasses too, fireworks glasses that you can put on for the 4th of July, I guess, to do something really cool. You can do that. One place, don't forget about being with Pop-Bys is, I was like saying Pop-Bys, like the chicken Pop-Bys, are your businesses. You can do Pop-Bys for there. So right now is the tax season. Great time to take like a little box, not a box, tray thing from the Dollar Tree or the dollar store, put energy in there, energy bars and little like waters and your card with a note on it. And then at the end bottom of it, put, for refills, please call. And then they'll call you to have it refilled and you'll take it back to the tax office. So businesses are your friends. I don't know, I go into a lot of smaller businesses that allow the local people to put their business cards. That would be a good place to go and put like a box of something, whether would it be.
Take donuts to people.
Yes, people love donuts.
Parlor Donuts right now. Parlor
Where's
Donuts.
that?
Oh my gosh, by campus. It's like
I
crap.
have to go. I have to go see this.
Oh my
Parlor
gosh,
Donuts.
it's a mixture between a croissant and a donut.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I guess we can wrap this up. What do you think?
This was awesome.
So just to wrap it up, find out your budget, find out,
It doesn't have to be a lot of money.
no,
You can do something from the Dollar Tree.
absolutely.
Those little
Yeah.
hearts are perfect at Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Thinking of my sweet clients. That's all it is. That's all you have to write. And also go get personal stationery, note cards. You can get them from Vistaprint, really cheap. First thing I do is I Google Vistaprint coupon, and then it comes up like 40% off or something. Get your name on it with a house. I bought some that say congratulations on your new home. It's easy, and it's always write a personal note to people.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you farm too. Don't do like PVA allows you to print off labels. Don't do that. If you're too lazy to, do a print off label, then don't expect people to open up your mail, because unless it's handwritten, nobody's going to open it. They're going to shred it, because who are you? Nobody cares. So make sure it's personalized. Make sure you write notes.
And branded.
Yes.
Sure it's branded.
Yes.
No
Make sure you send a 50-cent card in the Dollar Tree for a birthday. Father's Day coming up, Mother's Day coming up, go get those 50-cent cards. It's easy.
And you can get different birthdays, just to have a bunch of those cards. And I know Chris used to do it. I still have a big box from my mother of cards birthday, sympathy, get well, everything.
When somebody's pet dies, if they put it on Facebook, send them a card. It's worth it. Yes, it's so worth it.
Are there any questions? Any more questions, Paul?
No, nothing else that I see right now. You guys did great.
All righty then. I'm good.
Okay, thank
You
you.
good? Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you both.
Very informative. Thank you.